Floyd Shivambu is a man who is becoming more inconsistent, and according to the supporters of the EFF, is a man who can't stick to his own words. And from what we have seen so far, from the interviews, from the conversations which we have seen Floyd Shivambu having, there is a proof enough that the man is inconsistent and cannot stick to one thing. So there are critical things which we need to take a look upon right here. And what is of concern are the attacks which are then being sent to the EFF. Whether you agree or disagree with the EFF, there is no need to attack them. So let us take a look on Floyd Shivambu's position.
We are not going to give our attention, none whatsoever, to the EFF or to the MK and everything else. They represent a far much more smaller number of even those who are registered to vote in South Africa. We are not going to model our politics on talking about Mkhonto Wesizwe or the EFF. We've got an organization now, Africa My Way Movement. And that is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the interests and aspirations of the people of South Africa. We're not going to be bogged down to discussing the personalities. There are systematic and systemic weaknesses that define all the existing political parties. We give a broader analysis in the Africa My Way Restoration Manifesto.
So this is what Floyd said, and this is a man who is actually contradicting himself, because he says that we are not going to be talking about the EFF, but he talked about the EFF just right here.
A natural death. Now, the issue which actually a lot of the traditional leadership inputs that we got, and even from the religious institutions, was the question of whether the two other existing black political formations are correct instrument to could replace the ANC, which is going to naturally die because it has lost its relevance, it has fulfilled its historical mission. And a correct response, which I can corroborate with practical knowledge of, and intimate knowledge of what happens in both of the two other black organizations, they are not the alternatives. The EFF is not an alternative to the crisis of South Africa. If anything, it will deepen the crisis of South Africa.
Why?
Because it's directionless, one, but two, it has adopted habits and mannerisms of the African National Congress. I think we've made this observation publicly that if you check the conduct of its deployees in government, it's not dissimilar from what the ANC deployees do. And I know this because when I was in the EFF, I was responsible for government or governance. So a lot of complaints would be brought about the conduct of those that are deployed in government. And whenever we'll intervene, there will be an organizational resolution to protect wrongdoing. So that is part of the reasons why we have to disassociate from such a movement that develops and adapts mannerisms of an organization.
But you held the second most powerful position in that party.
So this is what happens.
Are you therefore saying that you were powerless to correct the wrongs that you are observing?
So this is what happens with my organizational character. Everyone else that we have led with before is that I will never impose my individual views and perspectives on the collective. In many instances, even when you know that this is not consistent with your personal beliefs and values, I've always subjected and I will always subject myself to the collective view. And I always teach about and preach democratic centralism because I believe it holds organizations together.
So,
but
let me ask this. Let me ask this before you conclude.
Oh, yeah, that's fine, sure.
How soon into the existence of the said party did you notice that behavior?
So the participation in government, and I purposefully...
PMD offers comprehensive car insurance that you can trust from as little as $620.
Purposefully pushed that the party should participate in government because I wanted to check the conduct of some of the individuals. And you must remember that the participation in government happened.
This is what Floyd Shivambu said. And when we're looking at him He's a man who is not taking responsibility of his actions when he was part and parcel of the EFF. So he's putting the blame on the organization and other members, and he remains a saint. Is that so? No. It's because collective action included himself. He was part and parcel of the organization. He could have resigned from the organization years back, and he could have told the nation that I cannot work with this organization for A, B, C, D. But he had to join the MK. The same MK he is now attacking. So this is what he said when he joined the MK.
I agree that we should unite all the progressive forces into common agenda, because this thing of small unviable political parties is not sustainable for the future of black people in South Africa. It's not sustainable at all. We can't, and the temptation as well, and I'm not characterizing the EFF, is that when you have got multiple of these, like, they end up being fiefdoms of individuals. A IFP, UDM kind of arrangement, what is it to achieve with that? When all of us can set aside our very strong egos and say, I don't have to be a member of parliament, I don't have to be a deputy president. I can come and be led by a collective, like, and be subjected to a collective and be asked to go and organize branches of MKP from scratch and not be a member at a high level. That is the principle that we're dealing with. And that is what we're here for. In terms of, and so that there's not even confusion. By the way, we spoke about the unification of all progressive parties with President Zuma last year, October, before the official announcement of Mkondo's as a party. And I was amongst those that said that let us go and contest elections as separate political parties. We'll contest each other on the ground, but we'll come back to talk about what do we do moving forward. So the attempt for unification is not just an opportunistic one because there were electoral declines of the EFF and all of those things. It's a genuine political discussion, which all South Africans must.
So this is what he said when he joined the MK. He clearly said that the EFF was becoming a party where an individual was making decisions or was becoming more popular. But recently, he is now changing the position and saying that there was a collective action against him. There was a collective agreement against him within the EFF, which means the leader, president, and all the other members, they were in support of what he called something which was inconsistent with good governance. But so when you listen to Floyd, when you listen to all the inconsistencies, to me, I don't think that is ready to build a political organization. I don't believe that is ready to build an organization which is going to put impact on the political landscape in South Africa. Why? It's because the man must be consistent. The man must have a solid position where he stands. So at this point in time, I do not know your views and your thoughts, but to me, I find his position difficult to understand. You can't tell whether he's going or he's coming back. You can't tell what is the idea they are pursuing at all, because he talks about very small political parties, and they say that you cannot be a country of forming small political parties. Let us have big, very big political parties. And just a few months, you have had problems with the people you are working with, and you are now forming another political organization, a very small political organization at the same time. And that is inconsistency. So your views and your thoughts, let us talk.